thinking about the changes in 12 months, actually recently reflected, and it is unbelievable how many new products we've launched, how many companies we've acquired, and really the changes for consumers. We really went, I think, in this 12 months from a 140 character platform to one that's 140 characters plus many other things like video, Vine, emojis, GIFs, making the platform so much more rich. It's a great question, thinking about the traditional media world and the digital and social world and how and if they connect. Through my experience at CBC and Rogers, I always saw a connection between the two. In fact, it's a symbiotic relationship where they work extremely well together, they feed off of each other. A lot of the Twitter conversation that happens actually during the prime time hours. You can look at the research and follow the trends and see that people are tweeting about, whether it's the Golden Globes last night or the World Juniors, that correlation is so strong. So at Twitter, we focus on being a complementary platform versus one that necessarily competes with others. So the future of advertising, I mean, we all in the business, whether it's the client side or the media side, no matter which platform you're on, we've all heard those stories about whether it's the death of the 30-second spot or print is dead. And I mean, I've been in it long enough to have heard that years and years ago, and every year at a conference, somebody makes that bold statement. I mean, look, all these things are still here. And yes, some are up, some are down, some money's moving around. I think everything's gonna be there in some shape or form, but we don't know exactly what. What I do think is going to change and evolve is the real-time nature of advertising. And really ultimately that ladders up to relevance. So advertising is relevant to me because of when I'm seeing it, how quickly I'm seeing it, and how well the advertiser knows me through the platform. And I'd say the last thing on that is engagement. You know, the way in which advertisers are paying and the way in which consumers are raising their hand, I think is going to get more and more focused on a specific action. Technology, I mean, we sort of live and breathe this every day, has a huge impact, and literally it changes from one day to another in terms of how consumers are engaging with others, with media, how brands are interacting. So I see technology as the driving force. It's sort of the world of content meeting technology. Those two things together is really where things are going. I think in the next 12 months for Twitter, as an overarching thing, you're going to see innovation at a faster pace. So putting products to market as quickly as possible, testing and learning, it's really critical to us. So we want to put products out, we want to make sure that they're performing well, and then put them to sort of more of a mainstream approach. And I also think video is going to be a much bigger play. We've recently put out a beta video player for advertisers. I think we're going to do a lot more with that, so it's a much more rich native experience. So we believe that video is going to be really key. A good example of sort of how an influence can happen and really cascade is the Target example. It's #AlexFromTarget. It's an everyday person working at Target, all of a sudden gets a photograph tweeted out about him, and he becomes an internet sensation, taking off globally, being talked about via Ellen, and all through this one tweet that literally went global. Again, it's the World Juniors or the events that happen in Ottawa. I mean, this is pulling together a nation through one platform. It's providing real-time information. It's a shared experience, and it's one where the whole country gets to express itself. The things that concern us, or the things we think about a lot, are similar to sort of the bigger picture of just getting to market as quickly as we can, increasing that pace of innovation. So that's for consumers, making sure that more people join the platform, and for brands that we're working with them on innovative programs that, like I said earlier, go beyond the 140 characters, really making an impact for consumers and brands together. I think in terms of Twitter's influence, and I think the two drivers would be, number one, engaging. We're a very engaging medium, and like we talked about, that's sort of the whole model is around engagement, so I think that is for sure. And presence is a very interesting one because we view ourselves as a distributed platform. So when you watch CBC News, you're seeing Twitter everywhere. When you read the National Post, you're seeing tweets quoted. So we've become a very prominent brand and platform, even off of the native platform itself. So in terms of just inspiration, I think I'm at an all-time high of feeling inspired by the technology startups in Silicon Valley, by the tweets I read every single time I open up my feed, and the Kickstarters of the world that are really sort of disrupting and thinking about things differently. I find that really inspiring. We're in a great position where, like I said earlier, Canadians love Twitter, and what that really means is those in the advertising or business world also love Twitter and would love to work here. So we're really privileged to be in a position where people want to work with us. So I think it's sticking to your core principles. So whatever your brand stands for, you really need to stick to that and find ways to amplify it. So it's the core tenets of what your product or service is, or your brand, and then how can you get more people to know about it and more people using it, and that may be innovating, that may be consumer marketing. So I think those are the things I would think about and recommend. It has to be Twitter.